Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Bug Bucks podcast. I'm your host, Allan Draper. I've got an awesome one today, one that I've been looking forward to. It's with Travis Bottoms. He's a 13-year pest control vet who's made a name for himself by putting other people first. And the people that know him know that this is the case. He's the co-founder of Nice Pest Company, and he's actually flipping the script on the industry, focusing on family-friendly service, real relationships, and pest solutions that feel like a helping hand, not a sales pitch. And if you check out his social media for Nice Pest Company, you'll see that that's the case. He's built and led multi-state companies from scratch and knows what it takes to turn vision into results. Travis is on a mission to make Nice the most trusted name in pest control. Their motto: protect homes, treat people like friends, be relentlessly reliable. Oh, also, he's known to Matt Rogers as Tommy Bottoms. Welcome to the show, Travis. Glad to have you, bro.
Thanks for putting that last part in. Shout out to Matt Rogers with two T's. But no, thanks. I'm excited to be here. So thanks for having me, man.
Your social media is like, you guys are taking like a really cool stance with it because you don't have to be, the best social media is like, you're, it's interesting, and like people that aren't necessarily interested in pest control like it. And that's
Yeah.
yours, right? It's like funny and like kind of edgy. And there was one recently, I'm trying to think of what it was. It had something to do with one of the spouses was involved. And I ended up commenting, like, I commented like 4 or 5 times on it.
Yeah.
I think do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah. So it's a trending audio about like, one woman should be able to kill one man a month. And it's my business partner's wife. And the joke is that my technician's at her house treating and hearing the conversation, basically implying that she's wanting to kill her husband, my business partner, and my technician's in the back, like, "Oh my gosh, gotta get out of here." And it's just stupid stuff like that. I always tell people we use social media not to scream from the mountaintop that we're the best pest control company. It's just more shareable things. And when our customers share it, it's implied that we're good because they wouldn't be using us if we were.
Dude, sharing, so on social media, sharing is that's the creme de la creme, man. That's better than any other metric. That's better than likes. That's better than comments. That's better than
Yeah.
time viewing, a piece of content. So, I mean, it's just super cool because you, it's developing a brand, and it's not like when I was watching it, like I totally forgot that I was like watching a pest control company's like piece of content. It was
Yeah.
it kind of felt real and funny. And here's the thing: I don't think all pest control companies can do something like that. Like, could Orkin pull that off, dude?
No. And that's the thing I tell people, like, because there's a ton of people that reach out to me about social media, and it has to be on brand. And if you're not that brand, then don't do it. You know what I mean? So I have a ton of people that reach out all the time, and they're like, dude, I have to do what you're doing. And then I see some of their videos, it just doesn't come off the same way. And it's not their fault. It's just not their personality. And that's the thing with social media. If we didn't back that up at the home and give the type of service that we provide on social media at the home and didn't have that personal relationship at the home, it wouldn't hit the mark.
Do you guys do you go through this process of like, hey, what do we want the perception of the customer to be when you're planning out social media posts? Are you being deliberate about it, or are you guys kind of taking what trends and other things throw your way?
A little bit of both. We are like there's some that kind of push boundaries that even when we hit send, I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe we're posting this right now. But then there's other ones that we are very intentional about and our demographic like. So we're not looking at like what we like as men, we're looking at what our demographic as women want. And so they're trending audio. Like we look at what our followers are trending. You know what I mean? So on Instagram, you can see what's trending for you and what's trending for your followers. And majority of our followers, 82% of our followers are women. So we always look at that trend, not our trend, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's cool because it sounds like you guys, you have this plan, you have this direction, but then you're open to what the market gives you. Dude, honestly, that sounds like business to me. That sounds like business in
Yeah.
a nutshell. Like, hey, we have this plan. Um, I don't have a crystal ball. I didn't know that COVID was going to happen. I didn't
Yeah.
know that all my techs were going to quit, or we're going to have the labor shortage, or inflation was going to go through the roof, or we're going to have a
Yeah.
hard time getting products from China, whatever. And so you guys are just applying like this general, like well accepted business principle to your marketing plan. And dude, for me, like I watch it and it's like you guys got all sorts of people involved. You got the partners involved, you got spouses involved, you got other employees involved, and it actually looks like fun. It doesn't look like a whole lot of work.
That side isn't honestly, but we're growing so freaking fast that like it's a ton of work. Um, and the coolest thing about it is this social media like that we do, it trickles down to our customers. So like I can't tell you how many customers are like, "Oh my gosh," when our technicians go to houses and they're like, "Can we do this real? Can we I saw this trend and I think this would be so funny." And so some of our most watched videos are things that we did with our customers. Our customers will come to the technician, be like, "Look at this funny video." I think our most watched reel is from a customer, and she posted a reel with our technician. Our technician was like holding her husband like a baby, and it's zoomed in on the faces, and it's kind of funny just because like it's them talking for a couple seconds, and then you zoom out, and it's my technician holding him as a baby as he's spraying. And I think that video has like 70,000 views,
Dang.
but that was the
70,000
customer's
views with how
idea.
many followers?
Uh, 1,300, I think, is what we have right now.
That's the jackpot, right? That's the
Yeah.
jackpot. It's um and 1,300 followers, by the way, like, and I've been doing social media for a while. You dude, that's a lot. You can get a lot of that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
You got 70,000 views. Somebody, no, seriously, like when you're listening to this episode, you're in your truck or whatever, somebody comment in our group in Bug Bucks or send me a text or email or smoke signal or whatever. I want you to let me know what you're doing that's getting 70,000 views of your brand recognition. This is crazy. Plus, like, are you guys boosting stuff or is that all organic?
It's all organic. So like in the last 90 days, sorry, in the last 30 days, I checked right before we got on here. I have 140,000 views to my social media and it's all organic stuff.
Dude, that is incredible, and it's hard to do if you're in this like rigid, like, hey, I'm just selling my pest control chemicals,
Yeah.
right? It's got to go beyond that. Do you find that it's affecting the culture with the technicians?
100%. It's funny because one of my technicians actually used to be my number two at a large company, and he is not the type of guy that wants to be on social media. But then when he goes to our content days and he sees everybody else involved, now he's like, "Oh, dude, I have to be in here." And it's funny because even same thing, customers will go to him and be like, "We want this like content," and he's like, "Okay, let's do it." And he's totally not that type of person at all. But now that he's in it, he's like totally about it because he sees that, direct correlation of growth and even him being on social media, people love him. So it is kind of cool to do it. And we do things, obviously I've owned a separate company. But I dress up for Halloween, we dress up for Christmas. We do things like that to kind of boost engagement during those times of year. And so that's part of our hiring process. Like, are you okay with wearing a Power Ranger suit to our customers' homes in October? And if they're not willing to do that from the jump, we don't hire them.
It's it's so cool how you've taken this, and it feels like it's been from the beginning, although you're definitely, I can tell just from an outsider's perspective that you're picking up steam. But it's cool how you just embraced it, and you're doubling down on it. And I don't think pest control companies do that enough, where they so this is so in Good to Great, Jim Collins, he has these three things. So he has something called the hedgehog concept, and that's like, hey, what should we be focused on? For whatever reason, he calls it the hedgehog concept. He explains it in Good to Great, but it's the intersection. So if you think of three circles like Venn diagram, It's the intersection of, if I can remember off the top of my head, what drives your economic engine, what can you be the best in the world at, and what you're passionate about. I think are the three things, and then whatever's right in the middle where those three things overlap, that's where your hedgehog principle is, or hedgehog concept, and that's what you should be doing. And there's people that, like the person that was telling you, like, hey, we want to do what you're doing. It's like, yeah, it's working for us, but your hedgehog concept, or your, what you should be focused on is probably something else. Give us some advice, dude. How did you guys find this? Did you fall into it, or did you go out and discover it? And how do, like, companies, the people that are listening, they're like, yeah, dude, I'm not like Travis, aka Tommy Bottoms. Like, how do I find my thing?
Yeah, I think for me, it's a little bit of both of being that and finding it. Um, I always grew up kind of as a class clown person anyways.
No,
So so with that, I was always looking for laughs and everything as well. And so when we first started, we kind of did the same boring Instagram, Facebook posts and things. And then one of our customers actually did a trend on social media in like 2021. And she was like, it would be funny if you guys did this.
Hmm.
And so at the last company, we did the trend,
Hmm.
and it freaking went crazy. I think that video got like 90,000 views on it within like 3 days. And so then it was like, oh my gosh. And then another customer was like, hey, you guys have to do this trend since you guys did the last one so well. And we're like, all right, cool. And so, like, I've always kind of been that person willing to just be an idiot for laughs. And
Yeah.
so it kind of just happened that way. But that's kind of been my personality.
What's up, bug buxers? Are you looking for a powerful, natural way to control mosquitoes and ticks? Stop the Bites from Archeon Life Sciences is a FIFRA 25B exempt formula that delivers 100% knockdown of mosquitoes for up to 28 days with a 21-day recommended retreatment rate, seamlessly fitting into your service routes. Proven effective and trusted in the industry, it's the go-to natural solution. Ask your local distributor about Stop the Bites or visit stopthebitesmc.com. That's stopthebitesmc, like mosquitocontrol.com. And keep an eye on Archeon Life Sciences. Big things are coming.
Now that you mention it, that reminds me, like, I have all these connections in my mind that are being made. One of the connections is we think, just in general, with marketing and selling our business to other people, but especially with social media, that in order for us to be successful, we have to be quote unquote like good, or like the poster child with something. Like if it's a trending video, or if it's like, with some element of design or whatever. But sometimes I think the traction or the beauty or the uniqueness or the authenticity comes from it being like, dude, they're bug guys, right? They're bug guys doing these. And there is this, it's a group of, I think they're oral surgeons, or they're three dudes, or maybe they're orthodontists, something
Yeah.
like that. And they do these like
Yep.
normally like traditionally like ghetto, like whatever dances.
Yep.
They're the best, dude. And
They
it's
are.
because
And
they're in their
ton of
scrubs,
views.
like, and so I think there's a parallel or a corollary there with us in marketing and identifying like who we are as pest control companies. We have all these levers we can pull, right? We can be the cheapest, we can be the most expensive, we can be the fastest, we can have the nicest customer service, we can have the nicest wraps, we can use only the most expensive products, we can use only green product, right? The list goes on and
Yep.
on. And the reason why this is so near and dear to me is because, like, I've struggled with it. It's like, what's proof? Like, what is proof? Like, what are we and how are we different? And it's like, you look at a company like Nice and it's like, oh, okay, well, they're different. right? And
Yeah.
different in a way that's respectable and memorable. It's like, dude, you guys are just knocking it out of the park. So it's, you know, um,
Yeah, but I had to get past that too.
did you?
Honestly, I remember I shared one of the videos that we did in the very beginning to Pest Cemetery, and I was just like, "Look, this thing's going crazy." We had like 25,000 views, and I was just like, "What are your guys' thoughts?" And everybody on Pest Cemetery was like, "I would never buy from you, whatever." And like, we got hate messages all the time from other PCOs of just, we're making a mockery of the industry and like all of those things. And it's like, man, no, we do good work. And I had to battle that because, you know, being somewhat known in the industry, like I want people to respect me as a PCO. But then it was like, man, I don't really care. Screw what they think. I'm not doing it for them. They're not my demographic. I'm doing it for my customer. And it kind of, you battle with it even internally for myself. And I just tell people authenticity is what really kind of shines through. And if you're not authentic, then your customers are going to feel that. So it doesn't matter if you're the most professional, the funny, the, whatever, just be authentic to you. And that's what's going to resonate with customers and people in general.
That's such a good message, and it's it's so hard to digest this idea that it doesn't matter what you do, man. You could be funny, and there's going to be people that don't like you. You could be serious, and there's going to be people that don't like you. You could wear white, crisp, clean shirts,
Yeah.
and there's going to be people that don't like you. We had this discussion on Bug Bucks recently. This guy's talking about how his white, traditionally his technicians worn white shirts and they get dirty all the time. And it's like, and I think it's hard for us, Travis, because these companies of ours, man, do anything for them. They're like our
Oh, yeah.
blood, sweat, and tears. Like this is, and so it's almost like our children. I say that a lot. Our companies are like our children. It's like, hey, I can say whatever I want about it, but if
Yeah.
anybody else does, we have
Yeah.
problems.
100%.
And so we're like, wait, oh no, there's somebody that thinks, especially in pest control circles, right? There's always going to be a hater, right? People hate on door to doors. There's a person in Bug Bucks that hates if companies grow too fast. It's like, so dude, this message is so good, and it's something that we have to overcome as pest control companies, and that's this: get it through your skull that no matter what you do, somebody's not going to like it.
Oh, yeah.
I
And
For me, I think because we started with door to door, and that's clearly something that there's a large contingency of people that don't like it. We got it over it pretty quickly.
the growth, man. And honestly, it's like the what me and Tyler, my business partner, really like took away from the Bug Bucks conference was Matt with two T's, Rogers. He said, focus on your own race car. And there's times where we will look out at people and we're like, cool, we're at 1,100 customers right now, but like we want to be like this person or like this person or, this company. And we kind of have to like remind ourselves, okay, what's our race car doing and where's our race car going? And let's just focus on this because we can get that shiny object syndrome pretty quickly, especially when we are growing as quickly as we are. But like we have to hone in on what we're doing in our company and like what we're focusing on, because if we are looking out at this company that's going a little bit faster, then we're not focusing on our race car and how it drives. The wheel might be wobbly and we're paying attention to the car next to us. And so if we're not focusing on making our ride the smoothest, then we're focusing on things that don't matter.
Is there any element of, hey, ABC company did this, and I know we're not exactly like them, but that's kind of cool. We're we're on this trajectory. This is our culture. This is the direction we're headed. But let's try to use this idea or that idea. Is there anything wrong with that?
No, no, not at all. I mean, I've taken elements. I've worked for several different pest control companies, and I take elements from each one to be like, okay, hey, this has worked for them. Maybe it will work for us. Or, hey, this hasn't worked for them, so let's not try to do this. Or, hey, this didn't work for them. but I think it could work for us because we have a completely different company than they do. Running a door-to-door company, for example, like I couldn't train 85 technicians to treat customers the same way that I can train my 3 guys to do. And coming in when they had 25 technicians, there's no way to overhaul that whole entire culture overnight. But we can build that culture here today. So there's definitely things that I've taken from other companies and made them my own or copied. But then there's other things from other companies that I'm like, no way am I going to do that because it's just not me.
Yeah. So what what's next for Nice? What do you see happening in the industry? I wanted to shift gears a little bit and talk about, just get your perspective, man. What conversations are you seeing had that in the pest control world that are interesting, or what's next?
Next for Nice, our goal this year is 1,500 accounts, and we're at 1,100, so I think we're gonna blow past that. Uh, we still got 6 months to go, so I think we're gonna easily blow past our 1,500 number. Uh, but on the industry, man, I think there's a ton of new guys in the industry looking to innovate, not just be, the dinosaurs. I feel like our
Yeah.
industry is so archaic and so stuck in their ways that now there's a new fresh blood in there that are really trying to kind of shake up the industry. We have a pest pages. It's a little book club. There's I think 10 people in there. We read Unreasonable Hospitality, and it's like 10 owners. But just those type of things really make the industry look so cool for the future, where it's not just a bunch of one man shows just wanting to spray and pray and do 10 stops a day and be one man shows. They really want to excel in the customer service and customer experience realm, where I think that is really freaking cool.
You know, I wouldn't have said this, 10 years ago when we started Proof. I probably wouldn't have said it 5 years ago. But growth isn't everything. And Proof grew pretty quickly, still growing. And it's still important to us. But something can be important and not be everything. But for some companies out there, it's all that matters, right? They have investors they have to answer to. And dude, I've been debating whether to share this or not. I don't know when this episode is going to launch. I'm probably, if I say this, I'm going to have to hold it for a couple of weeks. But, and I just found out like an hour before I hit record that a proof technician committed suicide.
Oh man,
And I'm still
that's
getting the details. It wasn't on the job. Not that that matters much. I don't know why that even comes up, but he, from what I understand, is that he lost a family member recently, and he took some extended period of time off, hadn't been working, and we just found out last night, I think through a family member. And it's like, dude, my CEO called me. Well, he called me when I was in a meeting, and then he immediately shot me a text. And he rarely calls me. We have standing meetings every other week. Besides that, I know that it's something serious. So I didn't know what it was. And he's like, shot me a text, and he's like, dude, I need you to call me. I need 3 minutes of your time. I
yeah.
had to go run an errand. I'm driving, and he tells me, man, he's kind of choked up
Yeah.
about it, and I pull over. Keep in mind, I've never met this technician before, and dude, it's like, what the hell are we doing, man? Like, I'm stressed over like this investment property I'm buying right now, and like, dude, like I want to do something cool with my life, and I think that's the case for most people. Like the money's going to come, and the money's important because you got to pay people, you got to pay your vendors, like you got to stay in business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, sometimes this sounds dumb and probably a little ungrateful, but sometimes, dude, I envy being like where we were year one, where it's like, dude, like I was kind of buzzing around in a truck and had a technician uniform on. So, and I always tell people like embrace those early days, like enjoy them. And anyway, man, it's cool like to see you guys kind of just doing what you're doing and like enjoying the ride, you know?
Well, it might look joyful, and honestly, man, sorry that that happened to you because
Yeah,
I could
you know,
not.
for me, it's cool to see that. And there's a lot of space in that, in pest control for that, I think,
Yeah,
you know, just being able, you've mentioned authenticity quite a few times. And I think you can, and here's the thing, you talk to quite a few people, they'll let you know like, hey, Alan's like this or he's that or he screwed this up, and they are 100% right. I do not disagree. But it's like, you know, there's I don't like, I don't think we're expected to be perfect, and we're not really expected to be anything, but like do something that like that matters. Do something that matters, because dude, there's people battling stuff that you don't know, and like, I don't know, dude. I've just gone through like this whirlwind of emotions over the last like hour and a half. So it's kind of cool talking about it in the context of building a pest control company, because dude, we care so much about these, and then what's the eventual end? Dude, we sell it to some private equity company or like, or you know, some one of the bigger companies, and it's like, I don't know, man. Is there anything else? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Small application, big impact. Advion Microflow Insect Bait is your key to proactively controlling ants, cockroaches, and other pests hiding in those hard to reach voids. Its application flexibility means you have the freedom to apply it with your preferred equipment, including bulb, bellows, and power dusters. Advion Microflow is also ideal for complementing gel bait applications on tough cleanouts. Find more at syngentapmp.com/Advion Microflow.
no, and that's the thing. Me and Tyler talk about that all the time about like what is our exit strategy? Like, do we sell off to private equity? Do we sell to a different company? Do we grow it and keep it? Like, what's the vision of Nice? And for me, I've always looked at selling as like almost selling myself, if that makes sense. And I've never been one to want to do that. But then at the same time, you know, we see all these paychecks get written, and I'm like, yeah, if somebody gives me a check for 100 million, I might I might sell myself for that. Um, but my my goal isn't to necessarily be that wealthy. I've never been like one to want that. Obviously, I want nice things. I want my kids to have nice lives and things like that.
Yeah.
But I've always just wanted security. And so for me, that's all that I look for. But also, I have a burning desire to grow and be the biggest and best and things like that. But the exit strategy I'm hung up on, if that makes sense. But I don't look at it as the exit strategy. I look at it as a journey. I want to, I set 3 year goals and I don't do anything longer than 3 years because after 3 years, it might change. And I don't want to like give up on that new version of myself in 3 years. So I only go 3 years out. And then at that 3 year mark, we'll do three years again. Because you never know what the next 3 years holds, and I don't want a life event or anything like that to change a 10 year goal for me, if that makes sense. So I only do three so that I can be laser focused on kind of, you know, what does that break down into a month? Okay, then what does that break down into a day? And so then I have easily trackable goals for the next 3 years. And then at the end of three, we'll create another three. But I don't ever want to look too far out, just because then I'm looking out, I'm not looking in, not looking at today. And that really helps me kind of stay present in what we're doing today.
You know, I love this idea, um, for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is like, if we look too far out and something better comes along, then we're less likely to go after it, right? And a lot of people that find out that I used to practice law, they're like, wait, you gave that up to get into the pest control, and it's like, yeah, because I found something better. And it's not better for everyone else. And I don't care if they don't think it's better. Most people don't.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. It was better for me. So if we have that perspective where I really like that, where it's like, hey, we have a few years, so we have some direction, but man, we're gonna get new information, And I've never understood when people got, in the political debates and stuff, they get called flip floppers. It's like, and some of them probably are, and I don't like politicians generally, but like, it's like just the idea of, well, I have information now that I didn't have back then, so my opinions are different. So, like for the pest control companies out there that you're having some success, like don't and maybe you do continue along the path. I'm not saying pivot just to pivot, but if it's like, yeah, there's something else out there and I want to do things a little differently, but I'm worried that it's going to affect my success. It's like, yeah, it might, and it probably will for a little bit. There will be this little drop off, but then it will kind of catch up, right? So, that, and then it will surpass where you were before. So, yeah, that's a good point, man. I like that way of thinking. Hey man, we're wrapping up here. Like, what are some closing thoughts? Where do people go if they want to they want to see some of those cool Instagram posts and stuff? Like, leave us with a few words of wisdom.
Yeah, I actually was talking to one of my friends who does a referral program, and he was telling me the other day that there's a ton of people that reach out to him and ask questions about me and don't feel confident enough or comfortable enough to reach out to me, so they'll reach out to him or other people. So my closing thought is that I'm super approachable. You can message me on my Instagram, Facebook, whatever. My personal Instagram handle is Travie, Travie, is nice. And then obviously Nice Pest Company is our Instagram and Facebook handle. But yeah, don't be scared to reach out to anybody. Like even you, it's funny. I've bet ton of people are like, oh man, it's Allan. He's way too big. Like he wouldn't even see the time of day, right? Like
Yeah.
no, that's not the case. Our industry is so cool with that, where there's so many people that could help, and we're super approachable. So that would be my thing: is just ask. Don't be afraid to ask. I remember 7 or 8 years ago becoming a service manager, and I messaged my old service manager from a previous company. I was so scared to be a service manager, so freaking scared. I sent him like pages and pages of text messages, and he blew me off. And I told myself from that point forward I would never be that person. So I might not text back, I might give you a call, but just reach out and ask any questions. We're not in rocket science. Everybody can do the same things, have access to the same products, same softwares, all of that stuff. So yeah, just reach out and willing to help.
Love it, man. No, I say that all the time. Like, hey, I could tell you everything that I know, or at least try to tell you everything I know about pest control. And like, I'm not worried about you overtaking me or anything. First of all, it's not a zero sum game. Like, I don't think if you get customers that you take them from me, even though literally that sometimes happens, I think that there's more out there. But even more than that, that's exactly why I built Bug Bucks. It began as start and grow your pest control company.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you're talking about. It's like, I've just never thought about the quote unquote competitors like that. It's like, dude, I'll tell you everything I know, because you're going to do it a little differently, and you're going to add your own touch, and you're going to disagree with a lot of the stuff that I say, which you probably should, because I'm not right all the time. But absolutely. So, ending on that, like if you're not part of our Bug Bucks group, make sure to check it out. It's a Facebook group. It's a closed community for pest control owners. It's BUGBUX. So just search that on Facebook. Travis, pleasure, man. Great conversation.
Thank you so much. So glad to finally be on here, dude.
Dude, no, like I wasn't planning on shedding a few tears, but it's funny how the conversation led us that way. But yeah, thanks, man. I'm sure we'll be hearing from you. You're always like helpful in the group, and like, people just love hanging out with you. So appreciate you, brother. And best of luck to you and Nice, man. Keep those videos coming.
Thanks, dude. Let's collab on something.
Let's do it.